Alright then, hello and welcome back to Gran Turismo. Last time we completed the Tuned Car Cup in the special events, and then we are faced with 3 endurance races. Now, as always, I put a comment on what one to do next, and we only had 2 votes, which was one for the All-Night 1 and one for the All-Night 2. So it's been tied for a while, that's why I haven't recorded any more since. So I thought, you know what, I'll put a comment or a poll in the community tab, and that's exactly what I've done. And yeah, the outright winner, which was no surprise really, is of course the Grand Valley 300 kilometers. Now, we are going to be spending a little bit of our 777,000 credits on souping up one of the cars, and it is no surprise it's going to be the Legacy Wagon. I always use this car for the 300 kilometers of Grand Valley, and you'll soon see why. Now, it's pretty much stock at the moment, but it won't be in just a few minutes, so we're going to soup everything up as much as we possibly can. And we're going to be left with around about, I don't know, 480,000 credits when we're all done. So we're going to have the main turbo kit, stage 4, that's 72 grand down the drain. And then we're going to go for the intercooler as well. Next is going to be the brakes, of course, brake controller, 10,000. Ugh. And then the sports kit. Lovely. Suspensions next. Always go for the hard stabilizers and suspension. Just keeps the car a little bit more stable, especially with the estates. They are, of course, top heavy, so you want as much stability as possible when racing. 20,000 for the racing brake support or suspension support. Then the engine. We can't do anything with the naturally aspirated tuning or the increased displacement, but we can do the computer, of course. And the lovely port grinding and the engine balancing. So that should give us just under 500 brake horsepower. Yeah, 492 horsepower. Look at that. Lovely. Right, tires. We're not going to go for the softs. We're going to keep it on hard for racing. So that'll give us less degradation for the endurance races. And now the gearbox, of course. Racing support, 10,500. The flywheel. Another 1,200. The clutch. Triple clutch, please. 5 grand. Thank you. Nowadays, in the inflation, it'll probably be about 25,000. But there you go. And there we go. So that is pretty much everything we can do apart from the weight reduction, which we already had stage 1 and stage 2. So stage 3. And the racing modification, because you do need to have this for the 300 kilometers of Grand Valley. I always go for the blue and yellow. So the Leaping Legacy Banana Edition Mark III is no more. And instead we are given a bruised banana Leaping Legacy. So there we go. So yeah, 496,000 credits remaining. That is still fairly decent. And yeah, there we go. We're not going to do anything with the tuning either. We're just going to keep everything as it is. So here we go then, drive along the Grand Valley Speedway and admire the best views in Gran Turismo racing. Yes, I don't know if you can really admire the views with all the pixelation, but we shall try our absolute darndest. So we are up against a lot of other racing modified machines. We'll have a quick gander at the starting order. I'm not going to qualify for this one either, we're just going to jump straight in. So, the entry list for this one then, we have the GTO Twin Turbo, 675 horsepower, the Impreza Rally Edition, the GTR Limited, or Le Mans Edition, sorry, I keep saying Limited Edition, the Honda Accord SD SIR, that's in the Castrol livery, and the Lantis Type R, which is going to be incredibly slow. So yeah, we are sort of middle of the road when it comes to horsepower. But the thing is, because we have the hard tires, the AI like to go for the softs. And that means after around about 10 laps, their tires fall off and they tend to spin or lose control in some of the more flowing corners. We don't. So with that, let's just jump straight in and get the 300 kilometers of Grand Valley underway. Again, it's going to take roughly around about an hour, 50 minutes, 2 hours. And you can see how long it takes to get the car up to the rev limit. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. It takes a little while for the car to warm up. And away we go. Now, because of the hard tyres as well, it'll take a little bit longer for them to warm up, so maybe 2 laps or so. There's Atlantis in the Castrol livery. There is a lot of Castrol liveries in this game, I've noticed. So you've got the Atlantis Castrol, then you've got the Accord Castrol. And of course the poster child of this game as well, which is the Toyota Supra, number 36, in the Castrol colours. Oh, a bit wide. There we go. So up into 4th. Not too concerned about not leading the race at the moment. That time will come. Tires are still blue, so we're not getting the optimum grip like we would do when they're fully at working optimized temperature. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of understeer. That usually disappears once the tires are warm. Then we can fling this beast into the corners. And that is the first of 60 laps complete, 59 to go. And a lap time of 1:53.2. We'll probably get it down to around about 1:39-ish. Slowly catching up to the, I believe that might be the Impreza. And the GTR. As you can see, they're not pulling away too quickly. Even though my estate is pretty much down on power in comparison. But like I said, it's all about the tyre degradation on this race. Because we have to hard tyres. My tyres probably last about 20 laps at a push. Theirs usually go off around about lap 10. Because they have the soft compound. So looking at the minimap, the GTO has a very large lead, but we're not really concerned. There's the Impreza. The GTR directly in front. Oh, yep. Knew that was going to happen at some point. Rather it happen now and not halfway through the race. Car still has a little bit of the understeer with the tyres, but that'll negate itself once we progress a few more laps. Now we should be in the draft of the Impreza, so we should get up to around about 300 kilometers an hour in this beast. Yeah, 304 kilometers is the top speed. Had I changed the gear ratios, probably would have got to around about 200 mile an hour. Oh, and it's the GTO that's second. I thought the GTO would have been leading. But no, I'm assuming then that is the GTR. Has taken the lead of the race. We'll dive on the inside, not too far back. Once again, none too concerned at the moment about the GTR having such a long-lasting lead, because we will reel him in, and that usually starts around about lap 9 or 10. And you usually find that the AI tend to go very wide into turn number 1, and they go on the gravel, and sometimes they spin as well. Not always, but that is a telltale sign that their tires are definitely waning. And they usually go in around about lap 13, lap 14 to change tires. I think if I look after my tires, I could probably push that to around about a maximum of 25. So I could probably do this race in 2 stops. At the most 3. And there we go, take second place away from the GTO. Now we just got to push to catch up with the Skyline. Oh, nice 2-wheel action. And the GTO did go wide there, he went off. That's given us a bit of a cushion. . 39.3 is our fastest at the moment. We'll probably get it down to around about a 38. I don't think it'll be this lap. Oh yeah, there we go, a 38.8. Nice. Now the biggest downside with these endurance races is that the music is not randomized, so you're given one music track and that is it, so you have to listen to that all the way through the race. You can see we're catching up to the leader. He must have had a bit of an off. Yeah, this car definitely still has the oversteer issues. When you let off the throttle and turn sharply, the car does want to oversteer. But not by a huge amount. And there is another lap complete. Lap 7 of 60. And we're coming up to some back markers as well. Did lose a little bit of ground on the GTR last sector of the previous lap. And Atlantis has been lapped. No surprise really, the slowest car on the grid. A little bump as I go past. "53 laps to go. Slowly gaining, so I think his tyres must be starting to go off already. You can tell because their cars start getting a little bit more clumsy around some of the corners. Where they slide, or they understeer a little bit, or they just slow down in general. Speaking of clumsy, again a little bit wide. You can tell he's not pulling away as much as he was, reeling him in slowly. And again, it's usually around turn 1 that they tend to make the biggest mistakes. They either go wide or they spin off completely. So the GTR is the proper racing modification that you can buy, which is $500,000. Not the nicest looking of cars, I must admit. White and pink. Or magenta. Creeping up to him very, very slowly. Still haven't broken our fastest lap time yet either, over 38.8. I think had we barged in on the inside, probably could have taken the lead there, but no, I thought better of it. You can see now that they're taking these chicanes a lot slower and going off as well, so their tyres are definitely starting to degrade quite a lot, so about another 3 laps is when he'll probably pit. I don't think I'm on his draft. Oh yeah, I am. Up to the maximum of 304 kilometers an hour. I really should have changed the gear ratios on this thing. Well, get out of the way. Now, will he go wide? No, he actually kept it together. That's a shock. But I can brake a little bit later because my tyres are still in really good condition. I think what I'm going to do, just to get the jump on second place, is even though I can stretch my tyres to about 20-25 laps, I'm going to pit on lap 15, just to get some fresh boots and spin the car around. That's fine. That wasn't my tyres doing that, that was purely just me losing control. Which again is easy to do in a 4-wheel drive machine, they just like to spin when you either downshift or let off the throttle for the braking zones. And in reality we haven't lost hardly any time. He's gone wide again. There we go, in his draft. Give him a little nudge. Now it's time to get past the Honda Accord. Do it in a rather messy way, but there you go, we got it done. So 2 cars lapped. And there we go, another lap complete, lap 14 of 60. Let's have a look at our lovely machine. He's not as shiny as he used to be. I have to give him a wash after this race, I think. So yeah, Leaping Legacy is no more, sadly. God, it's so weird to control this car in this view. Oh well, back in car we go. Now, the bloke behind me will probably go into the pits on this lap. We'll go in on next. Or he might follow us in on lap 15, I don't know just yet. It changes, it depends from car to car really. Some cars go in very early, some cars go in a little bit later. The slower ones usually tend to go in a bit later because they're not using their tyres as much because of their slower speed. But the chap behind me will probably go in maybe this lap, the next lap, I'm not sure. And he's going to go wide again. And yes, there he goes. He's gone in the pits. So, just like clockwork. And I'm going to do the same on the next lap as well. Just to get an early stop, then probably go in, you know, right about our usual schedule stop, 20 laps in. Or what will be 35 laps in, so it'll be just past halfway. Actually, what I may do, I might try and do this in 2 stops, so I'll have a stint of about 20 laps, so I'll go in on lap 35 and see if I can stretch my tyres for 25 laps just to get to the end. Be a little challenge for myself. And there's a sad, sorry Lantis again. Excuse me, Mr. Albon. So I'm going to go in for my pit stop now then, get out of the way, and I'll take a quick pit stop myself, and I will see you in just a moment. And there we go then, tyres have been changed, and unfortunately we've now dropped down into third, possibly fourth, and there we go. But that's absolutely fine. They have yet to go into the pits yet, so... Nice little bit of extra grip. So next time we go into the pits then will be at the end of lap 35, and then we'll try and stretch the tyres to go for the rest of the race after that. So it'll be another, well, 25 laps. So I think we can do that. I think the tyres will stretch that far. I think third and fourth, or second and third, will probably go into the pits this time. Because the only ones to pit so far are myself and the leader, so... And no takers for the pit stops. So that's not a problem. Pass a slow accord again. That was a good corner. Oh, and the Lantis as well. Use him as a little bit of a buffer. Help us around the corner easier. I always keep thinking I'm going to clout that wall to the entry of the bridge. I do get awfully close to it. Nope, still no one else gone into the pits yet. 1:39.5, still not our fastest lap time. Having the harder stabilizers and the harder suspension, you can see that the bouncing doesn't continue for like half an hour like the previous cars we've driven. Bounce like once or twice and then it's back to normal again. And the lead trio just directly ahead, so we didn't lose that much time in the pit stops. I think the only time that we lost was because it takes forever for the car to reach a certain revs, so... Slowly encroaching on 1/3 distance. And there is 3rd place directly up ahead. So, oh, no, one of them's gone into the pits. So, there we go. That's 1 place handed to us as a freebie. The GTO is next. He might go into the pits at the end of the next lap. Or this lap. And even though they, you know, the leader's gone in for fresh tyres, he's not pulling away. You know, he did have quite a lead in the first third of the race, but not now. He's sort of just, you know, pacing himself. And there we go, lap 20, 1/3 distance at the end of this lap. GTO is struggling on the tyres, going very wide. Oh, we beat our fastest lap time as well, 1:38.7. Try and get another fastest lap this time as well. Well, not now, because we just messed that up. Sod it, we're going to grind the wall. That's cheating a little bit, I know, but... I'm allowed one free wall grind just to get a fastest lap time. It's in the rule book. I know, because I made it up. Oh, and even grinding the wall, we didn't even beat the fastest lap time. Well, that was a bit dumb. However, it's allowed us to catch up to the skyline. Ever so slightly. Ooh. GTO retaliating a little bit and giving us a whack. How uncouth. Have one back. Yeah, you can see how much the GTO is sliding going into the chicane, so his tyres are pretty much dead. And by rights, he should dive into the pit lane this time by. Or not. Nope, he's going to carry on. He's persevering with it. Oh, a little bit of understeer. That's fine. Use the GTO as a barrier. Give him a piece of his own medicine. I think if we really push, we could probably get into the 137s easy. Just need to try and find 7 100s. Or 7 tenths, sorry. No, he's still going. Someone's coming out of the pit, so that would be the Lantis or the Accord, which you've already lapped, I think, 3 times now. So, trying my hardest to catch up with the Skyline. You can tell that he is struggling on his tyres as well, though, because he is slowed down a lot. And we're coming up soon to lap another car. I'm going to assume that's probably the Atlantis or the Accord. Hard to tell which one came out of the pits because they have pretty much the same livery on them. Black with the Castrol red and green stripes. He's gone a little bit wide. That's going to give us a chance of possibly getting his draft. Yep, we're in his draft. Cool. And again, topping out at 304. Use him as a barrier. Give him a swift whack up the rear. Oh, he's got the bouncies going as well. He should go into the pits in 2 laps time, I'm assuming. That's very kind of him, giving me a nudge. So we'll be going into the pits again in 10 laps time. Hopefully we should be able to keep our tyres from degrading too much in that time. Still look green at the moment. And we are lapping the Accord for the third time. So it was Atlantis that had gone into the pits. Lap 26. So yeah, with the next two endurance races then, you have the All Night 1 and All Night 2. All Night 1 is very similar to Grand Valley 300. It is for race-tuned vehicles. So, just like this one. But I do have a car I'm going to be using for that race anyway. And the All Night 2 is a backwards version of the first race, but it's for non-race tuned vehicles. So, that is why I'm going to be using the Dodge Viper, because I don't have a racing modification on it. So, that would give me a bit more of an extra challenge as well. Now, this is going to be a little bit difficult, I think, with the tyres. I can see the front left is starting to go a little bit yellow. Now, we got, well, 8 laps to make these last. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it, you know. I see someone else diving into the pit, so that's probably the GTO. So I think that is the first time the GTO's gone in for the pits as well, unless that is the other machine, but I'm pretty certain that whoever went into the pits was the GTO. If that's the case, they made their tyres last 27 laps. That is quite a stark contrast between the Skyline and myself. Or maybe he did go into the pits and I didn't notice, so who knows. Coming up to complete lap 27. I thought this would take a lot longer, you know. I mean, we're only, well, 3/4 of an hour in. And we're coming up to halfway, so this race shouldn't last any longer than about an hour and a half. Maybe an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. So that's not too bad. I thought it would extend into the 2-hour mark. Sadly, you get bored listening to the same song playing over and over again. Shame you couldn't change the song that you wanted playing, or put it on random. And another lap completes. 32 to go. So we'll see what the total time is once we complete lap 30, just to see how long this race should potentially take. Looks like we're going to be coming up to lap the Lantis again. He's just going through the chicane. So we're at 49 and a half minutes. What's that? A minute 40 per lap. So it should be at 51:10. Either 51:10 or 51:12. Something like that. And there's Atlantis. And what is the time going to be? what did I say, 51.10 to 51.12. And it's probably a bit more at 51. Yeah, 51.14. So, yeah, about an hour and 45 minutes then. Hour 45, hour 42, something like that. Our tyres are lasting very, very well, so I might elongate this stint to lap 40. So then we'll have just 20 laps to go on our tyres. Which would be a lot easier then, so we don't have to worry about changing again or this, that and the other. But as you can see, the front left is only just slightly starting to go yellow. Like a banana that is slowly ripening. Okay, lap 32. No, I think I am going to go in on lap 35 just so I can give my eyes a little bit of a rest. Take a little break. Stretch my legs. Get a drink and this, that and the other. Because we are still, you know, suffering with the aftermath of the heat wave that we had in the UK, and it is incredibly hot still. Very close, very humid. When you're in a smallish room with a PC that is running at like 50 degrees Celsius in the background, it sort of makes the room rather toasty. So I'm sat here sweating buckets. So once lap 35 is complete, then we'll go into the pits, get our change of tyres, and I'll go for a quick pit stop myself. So either way, it's still going to be a two-stop strategy because the tyres can last, which is the main thing. So this race is all but won. You can tell we're getting a lot of understeer now, so going around the corners isn't as easy as it was, say about 10 laps ago. Lap 34. Getting all manners of crossed up going into turn 1. So you can tell the tyres are going off. I'm losing ground as well. The trio behind are slowly catching me. Lap 35. Right, so we're going to go into the pits next time. Get some fresh boots. And then we'll be fine for the rest of the race then. We're losing a lot of ground on the bloke behind. So the tyres are definitely way past their best. Having to slow down so much for the corners as well definitely isn't helping. Looks like it's the GTO. Okie dokie, so our scheduled pit stop then, our second of the race, and our last of the race as well. And we're going to go wide for good measure. So yeah, I'm going to go for another pit stop myself, and I will see you all in just a moment. And there we go, tyres have been changed, and we've dropped back down into third, which isn't too bad. 60 mile an hour speed limit. And away we go. It's nice to have a little bit of grip again. So these tyres should, in theory, last us until the end of the race. We've just reached the hour mark as well. Who's that behind? That is the Subaru. Sorry, matey, but there's only room for one Subaru, and that is mine. So, naff off. As another lap completes. Lap 37. And the Subaru's gone in for his pit stop as well. And we're already catching the 2 leaders in front, because their tyres are pretty much shot. Oops, didn't want to do that. So someone's gone into the pits. I would think that's one of the back markers, though. I think that's possibly the Honda Accord, which, in theory, should hold up the GTO in second place. Oh, and it's a Skyline who has dropped right back, so the GTO must be in the lead, which is a turn up for the books. Didn't expect to see that. Yeah, his tyres are definitely gone now. You can tell that by the way he's struggling to get around the corners. And there is the Honda Accord. We're going to lap for the 4th time. I was going to say 3rd time. Oh, and he's actually fighting with the Skyline, so that's slowing him down as well. Is he going to pit? Nope, he's going to carry on going for another lap at least. We'll try and get him on the outside. No, he just has the advantage on the acceleration. Not so bogged down. Ooh. And we caught up to the Lantis as well, because he's also gone into the pits. And the Skyline gets caught behind him, so fantastic. So it's just a GTO in the lead that we have to catch. And the GTO's gone in. Cool. So we have taken back the lead as we reach 2/3 distance. And yeah, this race should be pretty much sewn up from here on out. Oh, collided the wall again. Did that just now. But it's fine. Look at the lead that we have at the moment. Pulling away from the skyline as well. He hasn't pitted yet. So, yeah, not too bad. 2/3 distance done once we cross the start-finish line. And it's just 20 laps to go. Skyline hasn't gone in yet. So all I'm doing now is I'm trying to get our fastest lap time. Even though we've got a 1:38.7, I do want to try and beat that. Not going to happen if I keep going wide. And we are an hour, 10 minutes into the race. So about another half an hour to go. And this race will be wrapped up. Or 35 minutes, give or take. Something like that. I'm looking forward to not hearing this song anymore, though, after this race. Sort of like, it drains your thinking ability after a while. It's like, oh yeah, here's this song again, starting again. But there's one thing though, I really do enjoy endurance races, I always have for years. And I think it must have been Gran Turismo that got me hooked on long haul races like this. And of course used to watch the Le Mans 24 Hours way back in the day. When you had the Ferrari F40s or F50s, something like that. Dodge Vipers and... ah, good old days. I want to try and organise a IMSA style race on Automobilista 2 using the GTEs and the DPIs around Watkins Glen. But I think they have a 2 hour 40-minute endurance race around there. I want to maybe try and do something similar in the near future. Can imagine that'd be quite fun. But whether anyone would join up with it, I don't know. Not a lot of people these days like endurance races for some weird reason. Or they find them a bit too boring. I don't know. Not me, that's why I'm looking forward to the end of July, of course, with the Spa 24. I'll be sitting up to watch that. As much of it as I can, anyway. I usually manage around about 18 hours and then my body's like, no, you need sleep. And I just pass out anyway. Lap 44. 43 complete. I was lucky. Almost lost it into the gravel trap, but got away with that. Just barely. Almost. I thought I was going to go straight into that wall then. I'm trying to push for the fastest lap time. I'm not sure if we're going to do it this lap. Nah, I don't think we're going to do it. Nope, gone out way too wide. 7, nope. And it's going to be another 141. Oh, there's Atlantis coming out of the pits. So next time by will be 15 laps to go. Which will make it 3/4 distance. That's the thing, you know. You see these longer videos and you think, oh my word, it's going to take ages, or... You know, oh, a race that's an hour and 40 minutes long, my god, that must be boring. But when you're actually doing these races, they, you know, it doesn't last, it doesn't feel like it lasts an hour and 40 odd minutes. It goes by really quickly. which is why I like doing endurance races, because you don't realise the time is passing. It's like all the races that we do on the RPM League. You don't realise that it's just a 40-minute, you know, sprint essentially. But it doesn't feel like 40 minutes. It only feels like, you know, 10, 15 minutes. Then, oh, this is like the last lap already. Because you're so concentrating on what you're doing that you just don't realise that the time is passing, you know. Nice fling the rear end. We ain't going to get any close to 138 at the moment. The tires are slowly starting to go off. I can feel like there's a lot more understeer going into the corners. You have to slow down a lot more. So they're not at their optimum performance. Oh well, gave it a damn good go. And a 141, oh no, just under a 141. 149.92. Trying to get the perfect racing line is a little bit difficult in this heavy mammoth of a car. Oh, understeer. Yeah, there we go. Tires are going. I think what I might do is, just so I'm going to have fresher tyres for the end, is I'm going to go into the pits at the end of this lap, just to get myself my last lot of fresh tyres. So rather than having the risk of the tyres going off near the end, like with 2 laps to go, and the AI catching me, then I'll just go in now, get some fresh tyres. I probably will lose a lead, but they'll pit again before the end anyway, so... And in we go. You can see it takes forever for the car to get into the rev range. And there we go. Come on. Will we lose the lead? Seems like we might just. Yeah, only just. But this is great. This sets us up perfectly for the end anyway, because there's only 13 laps to go. And you can see by the way the GTO is going around turn number 1, his tyres are completely shot. Because he was sliding around all over the place. So, yeah, we should be on course for quite an easy victory on this one. I mean, let's be fair, these races aren't hard anyway, they're very trivial. But that's why I picked the Subaru Legacy, just to give myself a little bit of a challenge, which, you know, wasn't really a challenge. We were going to win, just from the fact that our tyres lasted longer. which you can manipulate the AI as well, just by putting on hard tires. They always have softs. Come on, get back here. We're in his draft. If I stay in his draft for as long as possible, might be able to beat our lap record. Or not, if we keep doing that. You can see now we have more pace in the acceleration department than he does because of his ruined tires. So we're just able to pull away. He does outclass us in the top speed. Accelerating with fresh tires, no contest. We might have, could have beaten, actually no, we wouldn't have done. I say we could have beaten our lap record there, but no. Yeah, he's still there, but he's struggling. It looks like we're going to be coming up to lap another car shortly as well. My money is on the Lantis. Almost got to the lap record. And I was wrong, it is the Accord again. Draft him a little bit. I tried to cheat and grind the wall to potentially get a faster lap time. Not gonna work though. I'm still gonna be just slightly shy of it, I think. Oh no, we did do it. 38.5, there we go. 9 laps to go. And we're coming up to lap the Lantis again. I think that's the 5th time, or maybe 6th time we've lapped him. Yo. Goodbye, Albon. Multiple cars are going into the pits as well. Well, not long to go now, about grinding the wall, about 15 minutes to go. And surprisingly, the only 2 cars we've lapped are the Accord and the Lantis. We haven't lapped anyone else. I would have thought we would probably have lapped the Impreza. But nope, he was, you know, just a bit faster than I anticipated him to be. No other pit takers just yet, but look at the lead we got. Almost a quarter of the racetrack's lead. And that'll only increase once their tires go off. Six laps to go. So, yeah, this race, in all due respect, has not been that bad at all. Everyone is in a little clump coming around the last section of the course. And I'm going to go for a spin. Why not? Come on. Get it going. I was meant to do that. You know, I was just showboating for the fans. The usual. There you go. Someone else has gone into the pits. I'm going to assume that's either the GTO or the Skyline. In fact, at this rate, I think the Skyline's going to finish third. There's a GTO just slightly outpaces him, and he can take care of his tyres a lot better than the Skyline can as well. Five laps to go. And a poor lap time of a 1:46. See, I think I've even got enough time. If I wanted to, I mean, if my tyres are completely gone by this point, I could just go into the pits, get fresh tyres for the last 4 laps. But my tyres are absolutely fine. They're still lovely and green at the front. Perfect temperature and perfect grip. But my own mental fatigue is kicking in, especially in this heat. And listening to this damn song for the last hour and 40 odd minutes. Four laps to go. We are so close. You can almost taste the champagne in all of its pixelated glory. Not long to go. More cars have gone into the pits. Don't think it's a GTI, I think one of them might be the Skyline. The GTI, I believe, is currently just heading past the hairpin section. Three to go. I'm trying to zone out the music, but it's not working. Oh well, not long to go. We can persevere for the next 2 laps. 2.5 laps, 2.25 laps, whatever. Looks like we're coming up to lap the Accord and the Lantis again, for the 5th and 6th times respectively. Just 2 laps to go. Yeah, I don't have the front end grip that I did have at the start. So definitely coming to the end of the life cycle of the tyres. But that's absolutely fine because we've only got 1 more lap to go. And yet my timing seems to be, you know, pretty much spot on. It's going to take an hour 42, hour 43 minutes. So first we're going to overtake and lap the Lantis, who I've now dubbed Albon. And then the Honda Accord, who is Albon Mark II, or Zelich, whichever. I'll dub him Marcus Zelic. There we go. So we've got Albon and Zelic in the 2 Castrol liveried Lantis and Accord. That Accord has got some really good pace in the corners though. We'll give him that. And there we go, 60 laps. One of the most well-known and well-loved endurance races has come to an end. And we complete it in 1 hour, 42 minutes and 37.3 seconds. Oh boy. And my driver decides to go off at the end as well. So yeah, I will see you then for when we collect our winnings. And there we go, so that is the 60 lap race complete. And what was our fastest lap time? We got it on lap number 51, a 1:38.5. Total time then, 1 hour, 42 minutes, 32 seconds, 0.3. So that is not bad at all. And we get the bonus credits then, 300,000. That probably takes us up, well, it does take us up to just over what we spent on souping up the Subaru in the first place. Look at that. So we had 777, so now we have 796. Lovely. So it's only 19,000 more than what we had before. And that is it. The race is done. So, yeah, do we get a bonus car for that? It didn't say we had a bonus car. I'm not sure if you get them for the endurance races. I'll have to have a double check in the garage just to make sure. So there we go. That is the 300 kilometers of Grand Valley complete. And let's have a look. Do we win anything? And yes, we do. The Castrol Supra GT. And oh, it's the black, blue, and red one. Lovely. So yeah, it doesn't tell you that you've won a car in the endurance races, but it's in your garage anyway. So that will come in handy very, very soon, but not just yet. So next time then will be the all-night one at the special stage Route 11, and then we'll do the final endurance race all-night 2, which is exactly the same, it's just the track is backwards. And yeah, we'll be using a non-race tuned Dodge Viper for that one. So there we go, that is the first of 3 endurance races complete. So I will leave it here for now. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you next time then for all night 1. So take care, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.